Hey, it's A Nikki B on the scene, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another beat with me. And if you are not, welcome back. First things first. I think it was a mother and her child, and the mother, I think it's called was it esthetician or something like that. I don't know. The people that be waxing, they're doing the bikini waxes, da da da. She was having her daughter, who is a child, a little child, and she was helping her mother wax, I think, about 24 women. So hearing that is probably going over your head, but let me repeat that. A woman allowed her daughter to help her wax about 24 women at her job. And not just waxing the legs, she's not waxing arms or anything like that. She's waxing the cooter cat. A child helped her mother wax 24 women, 24 women's cooter cat. And I think she got CPS called on her or something like that. So I think she's under investigation. I don't really know too much. I didn't go too deeply into that. But I'm just going to give my quick little opinion with this one, because we got to get to the other topics. What's with parents being extremely comfortable by putting their child through these types of situations? Like, it is not okay that her daughter, had to, do that. Like, granted, kids learn very quick. Kids are very smart. I think we doubt that a lot in children, but there's just certain things that children just should not be doing. And these parents just be getting so, I don't know if they get confused. I don't know if the lines are just blurred for them, because maybe social media has a huge influence on how they even interact with their child. But she should have not did that with her daughter at all. That could have been closed off. If your daughter wants to know, then you need to just, don't even just be explicit with her. Be like, hey, these are the wax melts. These are the popsicle sticks that we use. And these are the scents or whatever. I don't know. I never got waxed before, so I don't know what goes on. But, you could talk to her about that. Or maybe when the client is not in the room, she could come in and help and stock things, restock things. That's cool. But you allowing your daughter to help you wax these women's cooter cats just does not make any sense to me. It does not make any sense. That's not being a great parent. That's being a lousy parent. That's being somebody who don't actually care about that proper development of their child. I'm sorry. I just think it's super weird. Like, what goes through your mind to think that is okay? And I think there's just been such an influx of just parents just putting their children online and recording them doing very adult things, and they pass it off as like, oh, but that's just my child, that's just who they are. But they wanted to do that. They asked for it, so I gave it to them. And it's like, no, there has to be some level of discernment when it comes to that. I do think children are going to be exposed to a lot of different things. They're going to know a lot of different things. But I think the way to kind of mitigate all of that is to educate them. Educate them, educate them, educate them. Talk to them about these things. Don't just allow them to just kind of just, do it. Because then, we get into the conversation about, these children are aging kind of fast. And I think is the exposure. Because again, a lot of people have access to the internet. And I think because now the way people have parent, and again, I don't have a child, so I really cannot talk too deeply about this topic. But just from my observations, I just think the way things had changed, parents just throw the tablets in front of the kids, and then wherever they get exposed to, they're going to also use that same internet to figure out what it is that they just watched, and they might be misinformed about so many things. If they had just gone to their parents, they probably would have been like, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, okay, now I understand. Maybe I shouldn't look at that. But they don't get that. Such a blurred line with how much do you teach your child and how much do you not tell your child about something. But then also, because of the internet and everyone has access to it, it's like you can't even control what they see half the time. Like, yes, you can to an extent. You could go into the settings, you could set the cookies off, whatever you need to do, but there's only so much you can do, because once they go outside and go to the school and they hang out with their friends, they're going to be exposed, and then you can't even control that aspect. So It's just such a finicky line, but I just think it's just the parents' responsibility. Basically, just do not put your child into a predicament that you know that is going to affect them. And like I said, with the whole woman that allowing her child to do that, that is disgusting. To me, that's disgusting. Some people say, oh, you know, she could have just walked around and restocked. I'm sorry, if I'm a parent and I have a client, my child is not coming in that room. If in that type of setting, my child is not coming in that room until that woman is done with her business. You know, I finish with her, she leaves, then my child can come in the room and then we can help restock. But you're not going to come in, because people have to understand, while that client is on the table, her legs are open. The child could be restocking some wax melts and she could look over and see a cootie cat flying around going, you know, doing this thing. She's going to look at that and be like, well, that's weird, or whatever that is. I don't know what goes to a child's mind, but she's going to see that. She's not going to understand what she's seeing. And even she does understand what she's saying, is still, she doesn't need to see that. I think the whole point is that no child needs to see that. And as a mother, you should understand that is weird, because you got to think about it. Women can be predators too. I think we always kind of miss that in these types of conversations. It's like, oh, you know, everybody else could do something, but it's like, no, women could be predators too. Why would I want my child to be looking at that? And who, for all we know, this woman could be a predator. She might get off by it, like, oh, your daughter's in the room today, oh cool, yeah, she gonna see this. It's like, you gotta think. Y'all gotta think. But moving on. So I was on TikTok and I saw a clip of Kai Cenat. I don't know if he was in New York or what. I don't know. I know sometimes he be in New York a lot, so maybe he was, but I don't know where his location was. But he was in the car, and basically, like, his fans pretty much like pulled up to the car, was like, yo, you know, trying to get his attention, like, you know, what any, you know, crazed out fan would do. And then he was like, yo, I could have been sniped. And basically just talking about, like, you know, think about it, if his window was down, they probably could have just grabbed his little body out the car and they would have had his way with him type stuff. I mean, had their way with him. But he was just basically talking about that. And my only thing about this, because it's going to be real short in this little conversation, is just that I feel like he be moving like he normal. Like, you don't have the luxury to move, like, through the city just sitting through your car. Like, it's to a point that I'm thinking that he might need to get a bulletproof car if he hasn't already. He might need a bulletproof car. He might need some bodyguards. Don't just walk around with your friends. Walk around with some bodyguards. You might have to have some well-equipped bodyguards, if you know what I mean. Like, you need to be walking with some, you know, with some protection. And I feel like he be moving like everything's all good. And he has to understand the kind of fan base that he has. It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids. And it's a lot of people who are kind of immature. And it's not knocking him, because I think for what he does, I think he does a great job. I think his content is cool. But from afar, I'm not, you know, digesting his type of content. I'm not the target audience, but I can see how it could be for other people. And I'm like, he's doing the darn thing, okay? I'm stand up for everybody black.
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am. Betting on black tonight.
You know, I appreciate what he got going on, but he has to understand the kind of fan base he has. Like, they're gonna act crazy. They're not gonna respect you, especially when you present yourself online. You make jokes, you do these things. So the type of fans you're gonna see, they're not gonna really come to you on some chill. They're gonna wanna grab you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna snatch your locks or something. They're gonna knock the white pearls out your mouth. You never know. You never know. And I think he just gotta move a little more smarter. Like, even though he joked about it in the video, because I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It was just kind of just my thoughts. Like, I just like, it's not even just him. I just think a lot of people just don't be understanding that, hey, you reached a certain point of like a certain status, you gotta move a little differently. There's a certain responsibility you gotta start having with yourself. You get what I'm saying? And you know, there's a number of people who has this kind of lack of understanding. You're no longer normal anymore. There's no more normalcy with you anymore. You can't just say what you want to say. You can't just do what you want to do. You can't just, you know, walk around wherever you feel like. You gotta move a little differently, with a little more caution. You just gotta move differently. And I think a lot of people kind of missed the bar on that. And then lastly, Lizzo, you know, I think when I watched her from the Grammys, I think she looked very good. I noticed the weight loss. She looked amazing. Even when she was a little bigger, I thought she still looked amazing. I think Lizzo's just a beautiful woman. But when she, I guess as time, with people who are of a bigger size and they lose weight, we all know the whole saggy skin, things just it's just a little difficult to kind of be in place because it's excess skin. People on Twitter was saying how she looked like a glob of like chewing gum or something like that. And I'm just like, why are we body shaming people to this day? Like, leave this woman alone. We know she big. We know she's trying to lose weight. Y'all know what people look like when they lose an excess, and excess amount of fat. Like, we know that. Why are we body shaming this woman? For what? And it's just so weird. It's like y'all body shame her when she's big. Y'all still body shaming her when she's trying to get her health together, when she's trying to lose weight. And y'all still mad. Y'all still got something to say. We need to stop talking about people's bodies. Get off her body. Everybody get off her body. And I think she looks great. I think for me, the way I see it as somebody who's just taking their health seriously. That's it. Whether she could be big, she could be small, it don't matter to me. I think it takes a lot of athleticism to play the flute and to twerk on stage and to still perform in its entirety. I think that takes a lot of athleticism. It takes a lot of focus, determination, stamina, like all of that. It takes that. I can't do. I don't even know how to play the flute. I don't play any instrument. The only instrument that I could play is myself because I'm an actress. And that's it. My body is my instrument. But other than that, I don't have no actual wind instrument, string instrument, whatever. I don't have that. But she do. And she could do that. And she's singing. And she's dancing. She's running around the stage. She's twerking. That's practically a squat. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's doing all that. But people will look at that and be like, oh, she lazy. And it's like, but can you do what she did? I don't think so. And I think also with this whole Lizzo and body shaming and stuff like that, because people always say like, oh, like if you support a person like Lizzo, then you're supporting obesity. And I don't think that's always necessarily the case. I don't think that. I think the message that Lizzo, at least to me in my perspective, I think what she tries to push is that, hey, I am a fat person, but I want to be respected. I want to be looked beyond my fatness. I think that's what it is. Just respect me. I know that I'm big. I know that just, I might require different things to kind of maneuver through society. But even through all that, respect me because I'm still a human. And that can apply for, honestly, a lot of different things, But I think for that aspect, it's like, hey, I know I'm a big person, but respect me. I know I'm big. I know this thing that I gotta fix, but respect me, because people have to understand, we don't know why somebody is at certain weights. We don't know why somebody is obese. We don't know why somebody is extremely skinny. We don't know. There's a lot of factors that can contribute to people being at various sizes in their life. And, yes, when you're bigger, you are more exposed to a lot of health problems, etc. We know that. But we also understand that sometimes when people are bigger, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're unhealthy. They might have very good vitals compared to somebody who is, slimmer. And quite frankly, I met more people who were slim with a lot of health problems versus people who were bigger, and they didn't really say they had a lot of stuff they was dealing with. So it just shows you how the media tries to control the way you think about health. They think the bigger you are, the more healthier you are, and the slimmer you are, the more healthier you are. And it's like, no, health is something that you have to see. It has to come from within, and then you will see that kind of like put out. You can tell when somebody is taking care of themselves. And I think Lizzo's a person that takes care of herself, and she's taking care of herself and she's be seeing the progress, and I think that's commendable. And I'm sure she probably sees the comments, she probably hears it from her team or whoever, I don't know. People are like, hey girl, I know you do it for the big girls, but you can't be big forever. Like, we don't know what she's being told too. You know what I'm saying? I just think people just need to stop talking about other people's weight. There's a lot of things that goes into that. People's weight fluctuate over time, Stress is a big thing. That's why for me, when I see people who do lose weight, you know, if I know they've been in the gym, then it's like, all right, cool. I'll be like, oh, you put in that progress. I see it, da da da. Like, I try to be positive. I try to be encouraged, like, you know, keep doing your thing. Versus if I would have saw somebody who I haven't seen for a while and I seen them lose weight, like, you know, they slim down, but I won't mention it because I don't know why they lost that weight. I don't know if they went to the gym. I don't know if something traumatic happened that you know it affected them, so I don't mention that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it just goes for anybody who would gain weight. It's like if I haven't seen them in a while, then it's like I won't even mention that because again, we don't know what people go through. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be back again with another one.